Welcome back to another jazz piano tutorial. We are working our way through the tune Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Well, that might sound hokey. Nothing could be further from the truth because we've reharmonized it, put it to a jazz ballad, stuck bass and drums on it, and it sounds like a very cool tune, very different, I'm sure, than most people are used to. And that's really the whole point of playing great jazz piano, is you want to expand your creativity and your knowledge of chords and dissonance and rhythm and all that kind of stuff. In the last video, we started in with the solo section. We started here at the D point, letter D, where we have the melody. And what we did was we learned soloing like this: scale, then chord. And we are going to continue on now with this next little section here, where we have the A flat 13 to B flat major 7th. So let's grab something to write with and let's take a look at that. Now, we ended off with playing a scale on this chord in the last video. And in this one, we're going to continue on with our A flat 13 chord. Now, the interesting thing about this chord is I like to think about it in terms of the left-hand voicing, which is in fours. So you've got a G flat here, then a C, then an F, which is a very cool sounding chord because it's in fours. And what you play over top of that is kind of up to you, because when you've got an open voicing like that, you can play almost anything. I mean, obviously there's patterns and things going on in there, but the sky's the limit. But if you want a little bit of advice, A flat 13, if you were to put a 2 in front of that chord, it would be an E flat minor 7th chord. And what you can do is play that kind of pattern with the chord, which is 3, 5, 7, and 9. And then if you get really adventurous, there's other things that you can do which are kind of hard to explain, and I think I'll skip over them for right now. But again, let's go back to thinking it like an E flat minor chord. So you've got F, which is the passing note, and then G flat, B flat, D flat, and F. So that spells your E flat minor chord. But it also works for A flat 7. Which is nice. So you might have heard me play that in other recordings. If you stick around to the end of this tutorial, I'm going to play the full recording at the end, which is me improvising over this tune and putting all these strategies into play. So from the E flat major 7th chord, okay, think of it like E flat minor 7. Then what you have next is a very typical 1, 6, 2, 5. So B flat major 7, F to G minor 7, to C minor 7, to F7. Now, what I think you can do there is, if you want to make it sound musical, think in terms of blues, because when you have turnarounds like this, and a turnaround is something that gets you back to a destination chord. In this case, we're heading back to B flat down here, in case you missed that. A 1, 6, 2, 5 is just simply a turnaround. And in turnarounds, because the chords are blowing by, fairly quickly, you can think of it in terms of blues. So B flat, D, B flat, D flat, E flat, E natural, F, B, A flat. So you can probably play that throughout the entire turnaround. In fact, not probably, you can definitely play that through the entire turnaround. So. But, think other things like sliding notes. Again, you might want to rewind the video and listen to that a couple of times. So from the B flat diminished 7, Okay, let's move on a little bit down the tune where we're getting to this. So this is the same turnaround. The only difference between this and the one we just played, and I need something to write with, so I have to take a screenshot. The only difference between this turnaround, because it is 1-6-2-5, it's just using the tritone substitutions. So the tritone of G, which is 6, is the tritone substitution is D flat, and the tritone substitution of F is B. So those are actually the same turnaround. So you could play blues over that as well. Now, the only thing that I would suggest is when you get to this chord, think of that chord like C sharp over B flat. So if we're thinking like or over B natural, sorry, C sharp, and then F, so it's a triad. So C sharp, F, and G sharp. So often what you do is you take that chord and you play the scale over top of it, which is a D flat scale with a sharp. It's dissonant, but it's cool, right? So from the 2-5, let's go. You'll hear me do that a lot in my soloing, where when tritone substitution chords come in, there's a lot you can do with those chords just thinking in terms of the scale. So. Okay, so I think that's enough for now, and we are probably moving into a different direction with our tutorials, but hey, stick around to the end because I'm going to play the full recording for you now. This recording I've played a few times, put it on Facebook, and it kind of went a little nuts on the Jazz Pianist group. People really liked it, so listen to it, because if you really want to be a great jazz piano player, you're going to have to learn things like this. So let me play my recording for you. It's got a chorus of melody, a chorus of solos, and it really uses the piano sheet music, and I'm going to post a link to that sheet music below. You really want to download that because that'll give you a jump start on the whole thing. So let me play it for you, and then we're going to come back and tell you what comes next. All right, so that's the recording of Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Very different jazz ballad. I decided to just reharmonize it, and you can find the sheet music below. In our next video, I'm not exactly sure where we're going to go, but it's probably going to be another Christmas tune because we are smack dab in the middle of Christmas season. And it's a great idea to take Christmas classics and convert them into jazz. Lots of fun. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. That would be awesome. We could use a few more subscribers just like you. Any comments or questions that you have, please post them in the comment section below, and I'll be happy to hear you out and get back to you. Thanks for your time.
you.